Let us move on to the mains topics today. We have two important articles which are very important for the mains. Okay. So, of which the first article is Supreme Court, okay, Supreme Court on the donations to the political parties in cash, okay, and next one is the bridging numeracy gap. Okay. So, now the first one is very important article. Okay. You will see in 2024 UPSC has asked question with respect to the one nation one election under the representation of people's act, okay, 1951 and 52. You will see that UPSC has asked previously questions. Okay. So, political parties and political funding has been topic in the UPSC mains GS2. Okay. So, now let us quickly look into the what exactly is the news. Okay. So, now the Supreme Court is to examine plea seeking ban on the cash donations. How much? Up to 2000 to political parties to enhance the transparency in the political funding. Okay. So, we need to understand that how political parties function and how political parties funding goes on. Okay. Before we go into that, we need to see how the political donations in India remain a major source of opacity with cash contribution. Okay. Now, under IT Act of Income Tax Act of 13A, section 13A, you will see that the contribution below 2000, okay, I am again mentioning it, contributions below 2000 are exempt from the disclosure. Okay. So, now when this 2000 rupee cash has been exempted from the disclosure, you will see that most of the political funding is coming from the less than 2000 rupees ticket. Okay. So, now after Supreme Court has struck down the electoral bond scheme in 2024, you need not to be reminded that in 2024 we saw that the electoral bond scheme has been completely quashed, which was affecting the right to know when you are voting. Then you have a right to know to your to the party that you are voting, how they are getting money. Okay. And electoral bond scheme was creating an opacity in that case. Okay. And based on that, the famous electoral bond scheme, the Supreme Court has struck down that, and it mandated the SBI to openly show all the donors and how much they have contributed, okay, upholding the principle of transparency in the elections of India. Okay. Now, so now what exactly is the right now petition going on? The petition argues that even small cash donations create a layering mechanism for the large untraceable donations. Okay. Now, before it was 20,000, it was now reduced to 2,000, and now you see that every political party is getting more funds with less than 2000 rupees. Okay. Now, it is again a new problem taken into a different aspect. Okay. So, now what the petition actually seeks? It seeks that the mandatory disclosure of the name, address, particulars of every individual making any contribution even below 2000. Okay. Now, I will, for example, if I want to attain some benefits, okay, with respect to some political party or something, now the political party might ask me, give me donation. I would say that no, I don't want to showcase my face, I don't want to showcase my name. Then what exactly the political party says? Okay, there is under the Income Tax Act, section 13A, there is a loophole. Under that loophole, whatever money that you give me less than 2000 will not be accounted. So, your name also will not be disclosed. So, what I will do? Okay, this seems very good. Okay, what I will do? I will give 2 crores, 10 crores, 15 crores, 100 crores in less than denomination of 2000. Okay. Now, there might be a few issues for me to convert them into small ticket, but still I am able to influence the political party, I am able to bypass the law. It is not exactly bypassing the law, it is just finding a loopholes in the law. Now, this petition actually seeks to eliminate such opacity, and now it seeks for examination of the legality of the section 13A subclause D, which grants exemption from the small cash donations. Okay. And what it will bring? It will bring transparency, it will bring the accountability. Okay. Now, so we will see the legal framework, actually what exactly happens in this donations. Now, the ROPA, which is Representation of People's Act, donations over 20,000 must be reported to the Election Commission. Income Tax Act 1961, exemption for the registered parties not to engage in the commercial activities. Companies Act, no donations on limit, disclosure in the financial statement required. Okay. Now, cash donations up to 2000. So, you need to understand there are three legal framework, three laws under the legal framework. One is IT Act, one is ROPA, and the next ROPA 51 especially, and next one is the Companies Act, where companies do not have to disclose at all. There is no limit on its donations. Okay. Now, the cash donations up to 2000 per donor. Okay. And before it was electoral bonds, which has now been cost off, and next is modes of donation: check, bank transfer, digital payments are required for the above 2000. Below 2000 you can give in cash. For above 2000 you will have to give in check, bank transfer or digital payments. Okay. Now, very important thing, tax benefit, the donations to these registered parties, their donation to these registered parties are tax exempted, they are eligible from tax deduction. Okay. And now, reporting and transparency, parties must file contribution reports with the election commissions and declare donors details which are above 20,000. Okay. So, donors detail above 20,000 have to be declared. Okay. Between 20,000 2000 to 20,000 you will have, if you are taking anything, you will have to take it only in the check format, you will have to take it only in the form of check format or digital payments or the bank transfer. Below 2000 there is no bar, that too only in cash. Understood? So, now this becomes very important for us to understand what are the nitty-gritties of it. Okay. Now, let us see the comparative perspective. Now, countries like USA, UK, Canada require mandatory disclosure even for very small donation also. 1 cent, $1, 1 rupee, whatever you are giving, you have to disclose. On the other hand, it is not. In India, less than 2000 you are not supposed to. Okay. Now, before we get into the way forward thing, now let us try to understand key statistics about the political funding in India. Okay, I am reading it out. So, the ADR analysis shows that more than 70% of the political parties' income actually comes from the unknown sources, and between 2016 to 2022, national parties have received more than 16,000 crores of money through the political funding. And now, the corporate donations rose from 450 crores in 2014 to 1,200 crores per year in 2019. Okay. And after amendments of 2017, the foreign companies could also donate via changes to FCRA. And now, electoral bonds have been now struck down. And now, yeah, so without disclosing the identity, as I have already discussed, you can donate less than 2000 rupees. So, while writing the mains answer, you need to see what are the arguments favor and what are the arguments against. Let us see what are the arguments against. Okay. Now, so one is the transparency. There is lack of transparency, and Right to Information Act, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A states that you need to have information about anything, you have to get it. You are voting is a constitutional right. Okay. Now if you are not able to get from where the political party is getting the funding, then it is not of no use. Next, it encourages the black money. There is a high possibility of black money being coming in. And next, it distorts the level playing field. Okay. If there is a high political, which is a very big political party, and now that political party can influence people and it can extort money also. There are so many cases where the political leaders are extorting money also, and this sorts of black money can also go into the political funding only. And next, it enables the very important keyword which I am going to quote, it enables the policy capture by specific high value individuals or high value companies or high value groups. Okay, they will influence the policy. And next is, it weakens the electoral integrity and it undermines the public trust. Okay, so now these are the arguments against the political funding. Okay, anonymous political funding. And now what, there has to be other side also, right? When you are analyzing something, when the UPSC says critically analyze, critically evaluate, you will have to give the other side. And now, so what is another side? The other side is that the protection of the donor privacy. See, now you have given, you are a high worth individual, now you have given some money, political funding to the particular party, that particular party did not win. Now what will happen? The opposition party might know that who has donated, and it might cause some effect on your business, or it might have grudge, or it might take decisions against your will, against your benefit. Okay, so this is one of the issue. And now next is it might lead to the victimization of the rebel parties. Okay, and it ensures that some parties, so actually you need to also understand that not every party is so big as the great parties, so they will not have arenas to acquire funding. Okay, for them little cash is necessary. Okay, so now with this coming into picture, there might be a chance that they will not get funding. Okay, and now we will also have to see the practicality of implementation. How practical it is to seek 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 1 rupee, 2 rupee. How will you be able to go check and verify? That is also one of the major issue. And again, this will lead to over regulation. Now these are the arguments for, arguments against, and what exactly have these different committees actually have quoted. So the Election Commission has stated that the ban on the cash above 2000, which is already implemented, and cap anonymous donation to rupees 20. Okay, beyond that, above 20 you will have to give, below 20 you cannot. Again, the only issue is that this will actually be more tedious upon the donors. Okay, so it will bring down it. Now Dinesh Goswami committee has actually stated for the state funding of the elections, okay, and ban on the corporate funding. Indrajit Gupta committee, it has stated it has forwarded the state funding of the elections. And next, the Law Commission of its 255th report has stated strict disclosure forms. Okay, and political parties have to be brought under the RTI. Okay, arguments for, arguments against. After the arguments, you will see how what could be the way forward. So now the way forward could be like mandatory PAN, Aadhaar, linked digital donations, obviously, and raising the transparency standards to the audit reforms, and empowering the ECI with statutory authority to regulate political finance, and amending the section 13A to remove the and tighten the 2000 exemption. So the conclusion can be stated in such a way that you have to ensure the transparency in the political funding. India is said to be the largest democracy of the world, okay, and you know that money controls everything. And on this issue, if you are able to properly regulate how the political funding goes, and if you are able to bring in the accountability, and if you are able to bring in the transparency, then it would be amazing. Okay, so this is how we need to conclude this, and I must say that this is very important article, okay, and I have given you almost everything that is needed for the writing a very good answer. Okay, so this completes our article. So let us move on to our last article. Today this article talks about the foundational numeracy learning. Okay, now it states that the India's widening numeracy gap despite FLN initiatives like Nipun Bharat stressing the need for integrated real life based mathematical learning. Okay, so mathematical learning actually is very important for the cognitive development, okay, getting a logical mindset, okay, but in the ACET 2024 report, it is stated that around 48% of the class 5 students can read class 2 text, but only 30% of them can solve the numeracy basic division. Okay, this is the actual scenario of the numeracy literacy in India. Okay, so now what are the we need to understand what are the causes for this. Okay, the causes for this are the structural causes, okay, which is the hierarchical nature of mathematics, which means that you need to know first what are the numbers, additions, subtractions, multiplication, and after that fractions, and so on, so which is the hierarchical learning. On the other hand, the other literacy, there you can have little bit of leeway, but in the foundational numeracy you will find that it is hierarchical in nature. Once you are not good with the foundations, you will not be able to solve the complex problems. And now second one is this is one of the hierarchical nature. Second one is the syllabus driven and not competency driven teaching. Okay, so you need to understand that the learning should not be very syllabus driven. It should be like how competent you are becoming day by day. Okay, now here in our Indian education system, recently our Honorable Prime Minister also stated that the Macaulay mindset that we have become the white slaves because of Macaulay. Okay, that educational numbering has come up to till late. Okay, that has to be revamped. Okay, now the teachers actually complete the textbook rather than actually addressing the learning gaps. Okay, this is one of the major issues. Okay, and now you will see that around 70% of the class 5 they were not able to solve the basic numeracy only. Okay, and this creates a cumulative learning debt. Okay, cumulative learning debt. And next is a lack of real world application. Okay, so you are teaching them Pythagoras theorem, you are teaching them theorems, you are teaching them laws and everything. Now where exactly this will fit into, that we are not able to provide. Okay, and that is one of the major reasons of the numeracy illiteracy. Okay, and now there is a issue of teacher capability deficit also, and NCERT survey, its own survey, has stated that less than 20% of the teachers are actually formally trained, okay, with respect to numeracy pedagogy. Okay, now next is the early grade gaps amplify over time, which means that around 44% of proficiency in mathematics at class 5 is only there, okay, which means that only 44% are able to perfectly do their mathematical calculations. Okay, and there is a high dropout rate beyond that. Okay, and now you will see, you might have also encountered that मैं सब कुछ कर लूँगा, मैं सब कुछ कर लूँगी, लेकिन मुझसे math नहीं होता है. Okay, but you will see that in the competitive exams you will always find mathematical issues only, mathematical problems only, and that is, and upon which the these examinations actually play. CSAT in 2023, you saw that how it was. Okay, so yeah, and Other one is the socio-economic factors. The socio-economic factors being the coaching. A few who are well off, they are able to provide the coaching, and few who are not well off, they will not be able to. And also there is a technology divide as well. Okay, what is a technology divide? Okay, and few digital math calculators or abacus or all those things which are digital oriented, which amplify the digital learning, are being provided for the rich kids, but for the others we are not able to. And you see that in our India, we most of around 70% of the population lives in the rural areas. Okay, so now what can be done? Okay, what are the, first of all, before getting into what can be done, what are the ramifications of this? First is the cognitive development, and you will see that the collective numbing of the cognitive skills, and we are not able to provide the employability. Okay, people who are students who are not able to generate their cognitive skills with respect to basic numeracy will not be employable. Okay, and there is a very less chance of equality, and there is a very less chance of social mobility. So the solutions that we can give is, first is the change in the curriculum. It should not be syllabus oriented, it should be learning oriented. Primary, first number one, change the pedagogy. Okay, training the teachers adequately. Okay, experiential learning. Okay, foundational numeracy literacy should be extended up until the 10th class. Okay, and digital divide has to be addressed. Okay, and bring in the experiential learning rather than the syllabus oriented learning or book learning. Okay, and provide with the adequate case by case oriented solutions rather than providing them with the holistic one go solution. Okay, and take into consideration of each student and what are their issues are and what their solutions can be. Okay, so this completes our article, and I hope that you might have enjoyed this session. Okay, so get back to your studies, and I hope and wish and pray that all the wishes of yours come true, and you get what you are aspiring for. Okay, we'll meet for the next thing. Fine, thank you so much.